Welcome back to another episode of the 618 Podcast. We're your hosts, Tatoo Tom and
Lonnie Jackson.
And our special guest today is Ben Trust, the PWE wrestler.
Former champ.
Still champ.
I never lost it.
That's right.
Still champ.
I did give it to Cash, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
You need a gimmick, Lonnie. Can they see me hit Lonnie? I don't know if I'm like
Jeez, I hope they did.
She got Tattoo Tom. It sounds like so pro wrestling. It's like Tattoo Tom.
Mine's Lonnie Jackson Tattooer, but it's more like you got to see my sign on my booth, Tattooer of People. Of people.
Yeah, so you gotta do the Tattoo of People.
The
This is
Tattooer.
Tattoo Tom. And the
Lonnie
Tattoo of
Jackson,
People.
Lonnie, the Tattooer of People Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah, pro wrestling up this
Kind
podcast.
of flips those off the tongue. No.
That's hilarious. All right, let's start in the ring. How did you get into pro wrestling and what drew you to it?
Oh, man. So, I mean, when I was a kid or like as an adult?
As a kid, what got you into wrestling? What? Because back then, I mean, you're not as old as me. They had territories. Is there anything that you drew to, or was it just whatever was local?
No. So what got me into wrestling as a kid is it's funny because like I have all sisters, right, and a single mom, you know, and my mom was always doing stuff with my sisters, and I think she was telling a coworker like I don't know what to do with the little boy.
Were you older or younger?
I think I was like 8 or 10, somewhere. in that area.
Like than your sisters.
Oh, I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. So she was doing all this stuff with my sisters, you know, having like these, you know, mom-daughter nights and whatnot. And I guess I don't really remember, but I just know I remember her complaining to a coworker, or she told me she complained to a coworker and was like, I don't know what to do, you know, what little boys want, you know, like monster trucks.
It was just this boy thing. She didn't know what
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, she had all girls and one boy. She didn't know what to do with them.
So my coworkers was
I did the same with my daughters, dude. I didn't know what to do with them. Yeah.
Pink Pony.
And I got my homie over there, so I'm good now.
I'm gonna get my nails painted recently.
So one of her coworkers was like, you should take him to a wrestling show, which was actually OVW back in the day did a OVW St. Louis, but I think it was like in Collinsville.
What area
Illinois.
was this, growing up wise?
Alton. I grew up in Alton.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, she took me to an indie wrestling show, and Batista was there. He was wrestling he was wrestling as the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he had this like mouthpiece with these fangs, and
There's UFC fighter had those.
yeah,
Arlovsky.
Andre Arlovsky. But yeah, he had these fangs, and he was the Leviathan and stuff. And then like after that show, I started watching like wrestling on TV. And then, like, a couple months later, like, Batista was Deacon Batista on
Just
TV.
WWE or WWF kind of?
Yeah, WWE. Friday Night SmackDown. We didn't have cable growing up, so, like, but SmackDown was on CW11. So then...
Yeah, the WB. I think it was.
Yeah. And then...
Yep.
And then I see Batista there, and I was like, I was this close to Batista,
Oh, yeah.
like, less than a year ago. Like, this is crazy. He's on TV now. And then it just kind of... Then I'm at Blockbuster renting all the old WWF DVDs, VHS, you know. It's like
all the pay-per-views.
So that's, I guess my mom is to blame for getting me into wrestling. So if she ever complains, she comes to a lot of PWE shows.
Like,
So
Mom, you did this.
she's ever complained, like...
Couldn't figure anything else out.
Yeah.
We could have went to NASA rocket shows.
Yeah, right. I got a scar right underneath my eye right here from when I was like 3 or 5 or something like that, chasing my sister on the coffee table while watching a Kerry Von Erich wrestling match. Yeah, chasing her around, and it was all
Texas Tornado, that was
and my
my
dad
guy.
stuck his foot out and tripped me, dude. And next thing you know, I hit my head on the concrete, split my shit open. He puts a paper towel over my face. And they rushed me to the hospital, and I remember saying, no needles, no needles, no needles. And then we get to the hospital, and they go to do all this stuff, and the next thing you know, I feel this really sharp pain in my eye. I was like, ah! I was like, all pissed off. Yeah, they stitched my eye up.
Was
I told
it
them no
Kerry or
needles.
Kevin that was the Texas Tornado in WWF? Not the barefoot one.
No, he was the barefoot one, right?
No, Texas Tornado was the one that shot himself in the chest.
That's Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry. Okay, yeah.
That was the dude I liked a lot. Yeah. So I grew up with like territories back in the day. It was like Von Erichs and Junkyard Dog and shit like that was what I'd watch on Sunday mornings. My mom would be vacuuming and I'm just watching wrestling on the couch.
Oh,
Possibly in post-production, but I need you to explain this. everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Grab my iPad. Grab my iPad out of there.
Are you a John Cena fan? Or
I was a huge John Cena fan, man. And, I mean, this is going to sound douchey. This is my favorite thing about this photo. It's like, that's an 8th grade photo. When I was in 8th grade, like, that was probably like the peak of me being obsessed with wrestling. Like, I was watching Ring of Honor, because that picture's probably like 2006, 2007. And it's funny, because I was never girl crazy. Like, all my friends were like, girls.
Yeah.
And
These are my photos.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Because I was going to draw this one for you. Like, that's the same one I was going to draw that he'll post. And I was like, holy fuck.
That's awesome.
I feel like we got guy crush, you know. Hey, could you sign my phone?
So yeah, like, I just remember, like, all these girls were like putting notes in my lockers and stuff, and I'm like, just want to watch, you know.
Yeah, I just want
to watch Ring of Honor. Yeah. Like, here's my cool John Cena shirt, and like, if you look at that picture, I'm in like 8th grade in that picture. You know, if you, it's like 2006.
I think I was watching Power Rangers back in that fucking time frame.
But yeah, I got like that's cool. That's like very popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's almost pre-Bieber.
Like middle schooler, 2007.
Bieber just cut his a little bit.
Yeah, like the hair from the eye.
My good friend Jessica's son has a picture that looks just like that, very similar to that hairstyle.
Yeah,
for real.
Man, so I was wrestling.
So that whole "you can't see me" just brushes your hair out of your face. Like, you can't see me. You can't see me.
Man, my favorite thing about that is like I was wrestling and like collegiate wrestling, like, you know, with the singlet and the headgear and stuff. And
they just hosted.
Yeah, fundraiser, and thank God
real wrestling
that thickened up my neck, because man, when I had a thinner neck, I was all Adam's apple.
I can see a little.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, someone's gonna add that in
right
post.
Before the flood too.
It was right before the flood.
There's the flood pit.
So PWE has been gaining traction. What is it like being part of the roster now?
So I always compare it to, there's one company when I started wrestling, I was a trainee, I was setting up the ring and stuff, and the company was called WIA, Wrestling Invades America.
Is that who you started with?
No, I never wrestled a match. I set the ring up 13 times.
Really? Never got a chance.
Never
to do
wrestled a single match.
That's funny.
So when I first started, like, setting up the ring before those shows and stuff, it was like the first show had all these bad wrestlers and like 1 or 2 good wrestlers, you know, and then like right before they closed, it was all really good wrestlers and just like 1 or 2 bad wrestlers. And like I've seen PWE go through that like same like arc, because like the first show I did post-pandemic for PWE was like this. It was in the parking lot of Franklin Lodge, and like it was kind of rough, and like Herzog was there, and I could just tell he was checked out. Yeah. And I was like,
what was the crowd? How many?
I mean, there was a pretty decent crowd, because Lenny's a hustler.
Yeah,
you know?
he is.
So he'll get the whole town out there, and I think people were excited to do stuff like post-pandemic too. They were like ready to get out of the house, so Lenny was trying to capitalize on that. But yeah, it was rough. The locker room, there's a few guys that like knew the business and knew how to wrestle, and then a lot of like.
So you think the pandemic kind of pushed some people different directions? They just kind of gave up on it, or afterwards, or what do you think?
No, I just think it was just the wrestling had nothing to do with it. It was just like post-pandemic was kind of like the start of a new era for PWE. You know, because they did like one big show before the pandemic with Jazz, and that crowd was packed, and there was a bunch of good wrestlers on that show. But like post-pandemic, I don't know if Lenny had problems getting people back. I think a lot of wrestlers weren't quite sure when they wanted to come back to wrestling, you know, because there was still a lot of masks and stuff.
Yeah.
But over the years, like, it's crazy how it's gone from like 1 or 2 good wrestlers, and now if you like look in the locker room, it's like, oh, this dude is great. This dude's great. The hooligans are right there. It's like. Now there's almost too many good wrestlers, and even I'm like, hey, someone's gonna take my spot.
I know there was a whole like a big flux in good wrestlers that come up, because I mean when we seen them over here the first show, I mean, I've seen maybe a couple, 2 or 3 returns after that, but then the other people just started dying off, and then there was just more people coming in. And
me and Chris are pretty good at spotting, like, okay, they're going somewhere, they're going, you know, they're going to go pretty far. Like the new guys, we knew it wouldn't be too long before we didn't see them again for a little while.
Oh yeah,
you know,
new guys are
venturing
great.
out.
And like even now, like Lenny keeps
You Before You Hurt Yourself is one of them.
Quest Parker and his brother, they're great.
Dude, Quest
is
he's
great.
Got the awesome fucking the RKO almost.
Yeah, off the top. Yeah, it's like
we're big fans of him. His match with what's the name? The Waterboards people.
Oh, James Brady. Yeah,
that was a fucking killer ass match. So he's a good dude.
Yeah, it's just like and you got Camaro and around and taking
that show Lenny's a good view of fucking talent, like he can see it and spot it pretty well.
A lot of times in wrestling, there's a lot of politics, and there's a lot of like, you've been here long enough, so we're gonna push you, or you've been here, and
dues kind of thing.
Yeah, and even if something's not working, well, he's my friend, so I'm gonna push him or give him something that he might not. Like Lenny only cares about like your connection with the audience, your talent in the ring. That those things matter more than like how long you've been there
and the show
and personal relationships with the wrestlers. Yeah. Lenny is like all about business, and you know, and you see it from town. Cause a lot of independent wrestling, they're one town, one building, once a month. Where Lenny travels.
Yes,
like his shows go all over the place. So like, you know, you might be middle of the card in one town, but then when we go somewhere else, like, hey, everyone in this town loves you, knows you, like, and you're gonna be up here, you know. So
giving the people what they want.
Yeah, so like, not a lot of other indie companies do that. And I think that's like, that's what's leading to Lenny's success.
Right, separating him from the rest of them.
And then like, if you go to one town, like out here in Salem, and you have a great time, maybe you're going to come to these Alton shows, and now his Alton shows have more people, and vice versa. Like, if you're a big fan in Alton, you got to know everything that's going on, and Lenny's running a show in Bonne Terre, Missouri, I'll get in a car and go watch. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of stuff like that. There's multiple reasons why PWE is succeeding, besides the fact that, like, Lenny will do anything to sell a ticket.
It's also the guys like you that come out and do what you do.
Absolutely. There's a good team.
Show after show after show.
The morale in the locker room is unlike any other indie company I've been in. It's like everyone is excited to be there. Everyone's trying to put on a show. Everyone's trying to do their best. You know, no one's phoning it in. No one's there for just a paycheck.
It feels pretty cool when I get just buzzed enough in the middle of the show to where I'll venture back and make my way to where you guys are. And I feel like I'm okay to be there when I'm really not.
I know. I get all the looks too.
People are like, who's that? Like, that's Lonnie. He's here all the time.
I did that with Lenny. Took me back to the one in the Centralia show, and I know I seen Halo and I seen Cash and all, you know, and Nick and everything, and we dapped it up, and then but everybody else was just like.
There's a few of them like I don't want to go back there, and I'm not part of it, but you know, I'm cool to come to the curtain.
Well, to see how sacred that shit really is what they do. It's very sacred.
That's their
Let me tell you why you guys are so important. You guys yelling and screaming and being so hype, and that thing I just said with morale. The morale's high in the locker room because of how excited. Like, you can feel it when you walk in the building. Like, you guys are already out there, like wanting some wrestling.
Chance.
And like, that's some indie companies will bring a name in. Like, I'm going to use Akira. I'm going to break kayfabe, but like, some people will bring a name in and just hope to pop the draw, and the guy will come. I'm not saying Akira's phoned it in, but I've seen names go to shows and phone the match in. Akira came to that first Hot Dogs and Handshake show, and like, from the minute he got there, the crowd was packed already, and everyone was just, all you guys were going nuts. And then I just see, like, I can see the energy in Akira, and it's like, and then like, everyone sees the name, taking it serious and excited, and then like, everyone else wants to be excited because because if like Rhino would come in and be like, act too cool, you know, oh, just another show, then everyone would be like, yeah, I'm like Rhino. It's I'm too cool for this too.
Yeah.
But when Rhino came in, he's like, oh man, this is awesome. Everyone's so excited, you know, and then all the boys are excited. So you guys being excited is why the morale is so high.
Dude, it's such a. So Lenny comes in and gets tattooed. And there was one time he got jumped by, I think when the solution switched on him or something like that. I can't remember. Him and Sharita were sitting there, and I was telling somebody about the show that you guys just had. And I'm like, yeah, Lenny just got jumped, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, dude, I didn't get jumped. I don't know if that shows that he thinks I'm slow or I'm doing that good of a job delving into like the fan base of it and just wanting to forget about everything.
You were stuck. What's important is you were sucked into the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me and Nick have a fucking rivalry going.
That's
you know
the
what I'm
thing.
saying?
That's
and
what.
Yeah, he said he come up to me, he goes, man. He's like, because every time he comes by, he'll tear up my sign or he'll rip my shirt. I want him to rip my shirt off my chest. You know what I'm saying? Nice. And make the big guy look like a small guy to his character. You know, and when he come over, you know, I'd be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" Blah, blah. I'd be like, and he said he thought I was being serious. He said there was a point in time when I thought you were actually mad at me, dude. I just turned and walked away. I'm like, dude, I'm never mad at you. Bro. I'm like, that big convincing, dude. Big convincing, dude.
I've had to explain that to my mom because like when they had that outdoor no ring death match, you know.
I didn't make that show out in the parking lot.
Yeah. So I get hit with light tubes and they
I remember that one.
Yep, and there's this kid and they're standing above me and they're like, "Fuck you, bench thrust." And my mom sees it and she's like, "Oh man, it kind of hurts me." I'm like, "Mom, they're here and they love it." And then that same person ran up to me and gave me like a thing they drew or something, and my mom's like, "That person was just saying fuck you, bench thrust, and they hate you." And I'm like. They love to hate.
It makes you forget about every fucking thing else except for what you're there for at that moment, and that's you guys putting on that show and just killing it. And that, like, if you guys weren't doing what you were doing, it wouldn't make us do what you said.
I was actually nervous when I started going on these shows and I was like booing people. Like I was kind of like, am I supposed to do that? Like I was actually thinking that that they were gonna be mad at me for doing that, but I was like, nah. And I see everybody else doing it, so I kind of finally caught on to the whole like.
Wrestling's hard to explain in that aspect, but it makes so much sense when you compare it to other things. Like look at comic books. Everyone loves Batman, right? That's your baby face.
Fucking Batman.
The Batman has just as many fans as the Joker, and Joker's the heel.
Yeah.
So at a wrestling show, if you have a really good baby face and a really good heel, they could have the same number of
I'm a big
fans.
heel fan.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like
when it comes to like G.I. Joe, heels, except for Snake Eyes, heels look cool. Heels always look fucking cooler, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the job of being a heel.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
And, you have any favorite memorable matches in your career?
I have a
list on. Let's bring them.
Starting from the beginning, what's your favorite fucking what was it?
What's my worst match?
Yeah, what's in indie shows experience? What's your worst match you've ever had in indie shows?
I love to tell the story. I got catfished one time by an indie show. That's the only way to explain it. Is
I gotta hear this.
You were going by their looks.
Yeah, the posters.
I would accept you as an opponent if you look.
He goes to the menu and he gets the menu out and he's like, "Oh, I want that burger."
Yeah,
exactly like that.
That ham sandwich.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
That ham sandwich.
So what I mean is like my friend sent me the poster and he was like, "Hey man, I can get you on this show." And I looked at the flyer and it had the NASCAR logo, like dead in the like this big in the middle of it, and like all these wrestlers like had Rich Swann. Right after he left WWE, and this is like 2017, so like there's not all these like there wasn't an influx of indie guys.
He was ECW before, right?
No, he was NXT. Then he went to WWE, and then he got released, and now he's like Revolver and TNA and stuff. But he didn't come to the show anyway. So, but he was on the flyer, and there's some Spirit Squad guys on the flyer. So I'm like, oh man, like the way my buddy sold this to me and the fact that they had the NASCAR logo in the center of this poster, I was like, dude, we're going to be like right in the middle of the field and the cars are going to be zipping around us. That's what I'm picturing in my head. So we're driving to the show and it was like at the Daytona 500 or Indiana 500. One of those 500s. Yeah. I don't know NASCAR.
Not a NASCAR guy either.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're driving and I see this the NASCAR where like the stadium is, right? And I'm like, I look
all
at
the lights fucking coming up.
Yeah, I'm getting excited, and I look at my GPS, and we still have like 20 minutes. I'm like,
oh man,
what's going on with that? And, you know, I didn't say anything.
Side stage.
Yeah, I'm like, so what it was is you can rent lots to park your RV.
During the NASCAR event?
Yeah, because people like follow NASCAR and RVs and stuff. So like literally this show was RV, wrestling rink, RV.
So you were in a campground basically.
Yeah, we were in a campground between two RVs. No locker room, no entrance music. The only
curtains up on the windows.
No, none of that.
That's luxury.
None of the names were there that were on the flyer. You know, man. It was like there was no chairs even. Like there's fans standing. There's people walking by. Like what is going on over there? Right. And like some people on like lawn chairs. And my favorite part about this is the guy that was the promoter, booker, and champ. Had to get had to get his entrance in. So like none of us had music. I just went out there and wrestled.
Was it like Def Leppard?
I don't remember what it was, but
Motley Crue.
I remember he drove his car right up to the ring and had the windows rolled down and the sunroof open and was blaring the music, and he's just sitting there bobbing in his car.
Was he in a Sebring?
Might as well have been. I think it was in like an Impala, or a crappy Honda, and it was like, and he's got the belt in his hand and he's just bobbing. And then when the beat drops, he gets out of the car like we all just weren't watching him bob in the car for 90 seconds. You know, I don't know.
The fucking barbecue grill off to the side, stuck in the ground.
I was like, I've never wanted to just not be here more than now, you know. So
that's funny shit, man. They even told you what the NASCAR logo.
Yeah, I was like,
the names.
Who won?
He did. I don't know. I feel like I was so checked out.
Right.
But I'm sure he won. But yeah, I just look at the time. I was like, how could NASCAR let him use that logo on the flyer? But I'm like, he probably was a pretty good graphic designer and a bad indie wrestling promoter, and he just used the logo. And
there was enough differences.
Or just no one cared enough to send like a cease and desist. You know what I mean? Like unless someone from
Lot 17 Beach.
Unless someone from NASCAR saw it,
yeah,
and then was like, "This is gonna affect our business negatively." Cease and desist. You know?
Right.
Yeah, man.
I'm not worried about that one too much.
Yeah, that one hurt.
What about that toe match with Herzog?
So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about the toe match.
Yeah, let's go.
Like you had a whole match basically concentrated on a toe.
All right, so
at the fairgrounds, not the cleanest environment.
Yes, my favorite
with the dude that ain't the cleanest looking
Yeah.
dude in the world.
Favorite thing about that is match was booked and I messaged Herzog and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want the finish to go. Are you okay with it? And he's like, yeah, man, if you're okay with it, it's gonna suck worse for you. And
as a fan, it was like, that's a really cool, memorable match just because like the creativity
I have
of it
so
all.
many people ask me about, and it's like, it's funny too because like Herzog will wrestle right before intermission. And then, like, I'll go out there to try to sell merch, and it's, I guess Herzog's fresh in people's minds. And they're like, did you really bite his toe? Is that real? Did you have, like, a Ziploc bag in your mouth or something? Like, no.
And, we look back on it almost like Jericho was doing the list, or the moves, and I'm like, toe drag, toe bite, toe hold, toe choke. Like, it feels like you did all these fucking toe moves.
Yeah, I putting his toes in the guardrail and kicking his leg. Yeah, I was
so creative.
I was proud of that.
It was really cool. It was a cool match.
Let me. I feel like so wrestling. I'm gonna go over on a tangent. Wrestling's you're always gonna get criticized. When I started wrestling, I was skinny and I did a bunch of dives and
We have
flips.
job the same. We deal with the same shit.
Then you get muscles, and then everyone's like, you're just a body guy.
Yeah.
And then you get a cool jacket, and everyone's like, you're just a guy with a cool jacket.
You just know where the costume guy is.
Yeah, so like I'm always trying to.
I was hoping you'd have wore it tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Wore the jacket.
Love your outfit.
It's hot. It's like 90 degrees.
I know, but literally, bro. Like I, as a fan too, I also sit back and kind of like watch and see like what I like as watching wrestlers, and I like the elaborate outfits,
the gear,
gear. You know what I'm
Visuals.
saying? Because the visuals is everything.
For sure, yeah.
Absolutely. And I always tell people, we're getting off topic, but I always tell people, you got 3 seconds to make an impression. Like everyone, especially now with Reels and TikTok,
done.
like
short attention
your music
spans.
hits, you come out the curtain, people go,
If the music's decent at first, you're kind of like, as a fan, if something ain't there, if you don't come out with the personality, the look, the something that grabs your attention, you start talking to your fucking buddy.
You go right back to shooting the shit with your buddy. And I even try to, me and the guy that designs my gear, I'm very thankful because he's very talented, but we add all these. His name's Louis Bird.
Where's he out of?
St. Louis. He's like a sewing instructor at a college. But you can, if you're a wrestler and you're watching this and you want gear, Lou Bird.
Dude, it's a badass gear.
But so the front of it comes out and hits, but then like as I'm working around the crowd, you can see there's roses on the collar, there's eagles, there's that holy crap, that's my wife on the back. It says my name. Like we purposely designed that with like the intention of as I get closer and work around, you see more things that you didn't, just to try to hold the attention, and like we added the parachute pool with names on it, like say Vanda or Trust or something, just to get you to keep your focus.
How many different sets of gear? Awesome. I know 2 right off the bat.
I got 4 jackets.
What's those cost usually?
Oh man, they're a lot.
$2-3 grand.
They're a lot.
3.
I figured 2 or 3.
I got a deal on one of them because he got paid to put it in an art show. So he's like, "Hey, I gotta make this."
I remember that one.
That's the white one. He's like, "I gotta make this anyway." I didn't. That's why I personally wouldn't get white wrestling gear because it's hard to keep clean. Yeah. But now I have a bunch of white wrestling gear.
The extreme matches.
Because he's like,
mixed in.
because he's like, "Hey, I'm making a white jacket, just like yours. Yeah. And if you pay me for the materials, I'll put your name on the back and you can have it when the art show's over." I was like, "Deal."
Wow, that's awesome.
But again, that's all investing into your character. Because I hate, I'm not trying to bear anyone, but I hate when I'm at wrestling shows and there's indie wrestlers and they're like, "Oh man, I can't afford that." And then like 10 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, I got my PS5 today," and like I don't have a PS5. Like I have a wife, a kid, and a house, and all my fun money goes into wrestling gear. You know what I mean? Like
that's also the commitment of the person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't.
Look at Eagle Eye. When he first came in, I mean, he spent $2 grand on his outfit.
Yeah. I gave Eagle Eye so much shit.
I love Eagle Eye. I do.
No.
I
when he first started, gave him so much crap. I wasn't a big fan. The gimmicky shit. I'm a fan now. He's one of the top sellers of fucking moves. Like,
I am too.
Sells the
I love watching him
shit.
wrestle.
Gladiators,
sells the shit out of moves,
pops
man.
Him and Calvin Coco with their gladiating stuff. I sit there and laugh.
It was a great match with fucking the hooligans. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, so back to the toe. Back to the toe. What you here for?
Yeah.
The foot stuff. Back to the foot stuff. So what I was trying to say is I'm always trying to diversify.
Giving toes a chance.
So, like I said, I don't want to just be a guy that does super indie matches. I don't want to just be a body guy. I don't want to just be a guy with cool jackets. I started doing my hardcore Benny stuff.
Centralia.
So I could be a hardcore guy too. But I was like, what can I do that is memorable? I'm all about making moments, and Lenny, I can't go
in
through
the middle of fair.
I can't go through panes of glass like Lenny does. No, you know what I mean?
Dude, I know.
There's things that I just can't do, but it's like I can do this, and like I said,
It's like Bret Hart. He can fucking wrestle up Bella Hay. You can wrestle a toe.
and I just. And Herzog even told me before the match, he's like, "Listen, I cut my toenails, I washed my feet the best I could. I gotta walk out to this. I gotta walk out to this ring in the middle of a dirt field. I'm gonna get sweaty. We're gonna do stuff outside the ring. It's gonna suck." And I was like, "Yeah, well, we're here now. We're here now."
Right.
And I think the moment came, and I just did it, and it wasn't bad. But he had so much dirt caked on his feet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
There's so much grit and dirt, man.
If you watch the next match was Jake Bosch versus Mason Cutter, Mason now, and I'm like the whole time I'm just like stealing water bottles from fans, trying to like get the dirt out of your mouth. Which, fun tip, I didn't know this because I've never ate dirt before.
Right.
If you just put water in your mouth and like try to slosh it around, it doesn't do a good job of getting rid of dirt. It just turns it to mud in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, you got mud in your teeth. It's bad.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it was like something, you know. I could feel like mud in my teeth after putting water in it. It was bad.
Yeah. Right. It's been a little bit better planned out.
So I heard something about Lenny fucking Davey Richards.
Oh, this is.
Sorry about the language. This ain't a kid show.
I've been dying to tell this story on a podcast. Davey Richards is a Ring of Honor champion, and he had a school in St. Louis. No.
He wasn't.
Back in the day.
Okay.
And he had a wrestling school in St. Louis. And me and Lenny talk from time to time. And, he sends me this text message. Well, Davey's wrestling school closed. And Davey's trying to sell his wrestling ring. That's all I know. And Lenny's thinking about buying it. And Lenny's crazy. We all know Lenny's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he sends me this text message. I'm getting excited just thinking. Look, he sends me this text message, and he's like, "Old Davey Richards must be hurting for money real bad." And I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, "What does that mean?" Like, I'm trying to think of a response because I'm like, this is one that I should have just sent a question mark. Like, question mark? Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Keep going.
But I don't know what to say. And while I'm sitting there trying to think of something to say, Lenny calls me. So I answer the phone. I'm like, hello? He goes, "I just fucked Davey Richards in the ass." And just like you guys are now, I was quiet. And I'm like, he's hurting for money. You're fucking him in the ass. I don't think Lenny gets down like that, but it's 2025. It could be a power. It could be a power move.
Could be old age.
Could be.
Yeah.
Domination.
Yeah, domination.
I
fucked the Ring of Honor champ, Ben.
That's funny.
Have you ever fucked the Ring of Honor champ? So I'm just silent for about 30 seconds.
Would that get you caught in the locker room?
I guess. I don't know. Like, Lenny might try. Like, have any of you fucked the Ring of Honor champ?
Anyone else fucked the Ring of Honor champ around here?
So about 30 seconds of just me being quiet passes, and this is an inside joke with me and Lenny and the people that know. Lenny goes, "You there, pal?" like I'm gonna hang up after that. I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And he goes on to explain that him and Davey got to haggling over the price of the ring, and Lenny talked him down real low, and that's why he was like, "Oh, he must be hurting for money."
Yeah.
And the fucking him in the ass was metaphorical about fucking him in the ass and about the price of the wrestling ring. And I'm just like, only Lenny would word this series of events in this way.
Dude, Lenny's something.
Bro, just fuck the Ring of Honor champ in the ass.
Yeah, and that's I love it. I
can't wait for get him and Sheree up in this on here.
Record skip.
What? You there, pal? So yeah.
What about Lenny being punched in the fat?
Yeah.
This is why I don't do birthday parties. But while we're on the topic of Lenny, this lady hit me up. She's like, "Hey, my son's a big fan. Can you come to his birthday party?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Well, that evolved into, "Can you get a bad guy to come and maybe you beat up the bad guy at the birthday party?" And I'm like, I don't know who to get because most people work like 9 to 5s, you know. So I was like, "Lenny, can you come to?" He's all about it.
Yeah.
And Lenny does too good a job, really. So he shows up and he starts popping balloons and like eating the kid's birthday cake and just being a jerk and like throwing cookies and ruining the party.
That's funny.
And then I show up in all my wrestling gear and I'm here to save the day. I'm the good guy. And we kind of tie up and we do some spots and all these kids are watching and they were all afraid of Lenny before I got there, right? And they're like 6-7 year olds. And we do like a little sequence, and the first time Lenny takes a bump, you know, he's flat on the ground, I give him a big clothesline, boom, and he takes a bump, bam. And the kids don't pop. Like, there's no like, "Oh, he got him." It's just quiet. And the kids are like, "Get him." and they all swarm them. Like, this goes south so quickly.
Oh, wow.
And they're all just, like, kicking and punching, and they were, like, throwing their little body into it. So, like, I'm trying to cover I'm trying to pretend like I'm doing a cover.
I think I remember that.
Just kind of pull his head up.
To count for a 3. It was in St. Louis.
Okay.
So I'm trying to but I'm using my body to cover his face. I'm letting the kids hit him in the face.
Kicked.
And
wow.
And I'm like, someone count to 3, and none of the kids are doing the 3. They're all punching and kicking them. This one, and it's so stereotypical. This one ginger kid, pulls Lenny's
He's like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
pulls Lenny's shirt up and goes, hit him in the fat.
There's a lot of area. Sorry,
That's funny shit.
Sorry.
Hit him in the fat.
Yeah. So I just got Lenny and threw him out the party because it was like the safest thing we could do at that time.
Right. Hilarious. There was something like that happened up there. I think was it Alton or whatever, where a bunch of kids jumped. There was a
Nick Natural.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
I was wrestling
throwing chairs
Nick.
on top of him
Nick.
and shit.
Oh no, that was so in Alton they threw a bunch of chairs on Lenny, but in Nick and Gillespie I think it was.
Yeah, you and Nick. He got cut open, I think.
No, I'm holding him and I'm trying to get the kids to chop him, and this little girl comes up and just socks him in the face. I was like, oh!
Dude, so the first thing that got me into PWE, it was Nick in that situation. It was Nick and Santa Shiva.
Oh yeah.
So my 14-year-old, he was 14 at the time, was beside me. And as a parent, you think you can protect your kid real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, before I knew it, Santa Shiva and Nick were outside of the ring. Santa had lifted my son out of the chair, and I was like, fuck, I missed that opportunity. What happened? And he throws Nick in the chair, and he's like, hit him. And my son, did one of these. He goes, no. Hit him. Then he gave me the chop, and I was like, the heart just popping over.
Yeah.
I love this.
This
so
is
awesome.
the greatest form of entertainment on God's green.
Yeah.
I did a design for Riley Knox. I did her little logo, and she's like, "How much do you want for?" I'm like, "I don't want nothing for." I said, "Just show my kids some little attention." That's all.
Yeah. I usually want to show
the kids. Show my kids a little attention. So she'll come out and give my stepdaughter her glasses or her jacket and to hold on to and shit. Yeah, dude, it's super cool, man.
Wrestling's so great.
I fucking love this shit, dude. I really do. Like I said, when I first started watching it, I ain't gonna lie. I watching the older guys out there, I'm thinking, I was just like, it's a little corny at first, right? Now I'm a super fan, so I have a ton of more respect.
You fall in love with the storylines. You fall in love with the characters.
Yeah, it grabs you in very quickly, and it's
a lot of stuff that you start falling in love with, like you said, snowballs. It picks up all the other stuff around it. It's
and then you go turn fucking around and go be a heel right after being a really good fucking baby face. Be a big truck. And we're like, ooh, no, dweeb. You know what I'm saying? I love this shit, dude.
Which makes me want to get to another question, because I think it was last year sometime it started. What started the Pokemon thing?
Oh my God! So
what started that?
What started was I was being
fair tours.
I was at a company called 01.
Okay.
It's kind of out here. It's in Mattoon, and I don't like Pikachu. My son loves Pikachu, Pokemon, whatever. But I don't like Pikachu. I think it's a bad Pokemon. And anyhow, I can go into a childhood story about not liking Pikachu. But anyhow, so I'm just trying to get heat. I beat the guy, and I'm walking around making fun of fans. I'm like, you're a dweeb, you're a nerd, 4 eyes, my normal stuff. And I see a Pikachu plushie, and I swear to God, all I did was take it and throw it on the ground. And I have the video on my Instagram. I throw it on the ground. I'm like, Pikachu sucks. Go to the gym or something like that. And someone posted a clip of that on the r/Pokemon Reddit, and it had it blew up. It had 900 downvotes, but people being like, "Oh, pro wrestling's stupid," and all the Pokemon guys are like, "That guy's an idiot." Just
wrestling.
Just a meathead. Pikachu's great. All these people commenting. I had all these on Instagram. You get those little. I didn't get any followers because they all probably hated me, but I had all these message requests from people being like, you suck, and you probably wrestle for $5 and hot dogs and have fun wrestling.
Serious.
Yeah, like have fun wrestling in front of at a bingo hall the rest of your life. They were. So I had all this heat online from like Pokemon fans, like real heat. So I was like, this is my thing now.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, but then like I probably had 35 requests at one point, and it was like real hate, like you suck, you're gonna be wrestling in bingo halls the rest of your life.
Dude,
you're going nowhere.
You're washed up.
You like Squirtle, don't you? I love Squirtle.
Dude, just ridiculous stuff, you know.
So I want to go back to the toe match. All right.
Everyone wants to go back to the toe match.
Just because it's like a balance of storytelling. So how do you balance the storytelling and like the athleticism that you have for a match? Like how do you intertwine the two?
Man, fun fact about that match is that's the first time I've ever beat Herzog.
Was it?
Yeah, and if you looked at our whole careers, I think that puts me at 1 and Herzog at like 87. Because like I said,
hey, you found your way to get it.
Yeah, when I first started wrestling, I was just like a skinny guy, and I would dive. I was kind of like Quest Barker or Jake Bosch, and Herzog did that big flippy choke slam thing, and I took it at a show one time, and then like I did a good job of making it look cool. So then
you were the dude.
Just the dude that he got to hit that move. Like I drove all the way up to like Michigan one time.
That shows that you're a big seller. That's why I fell for fucking Eagle Eye.
And I didn't know Herzog was there. And I get to the show, and Herzog's complaining that he's got to wrestle some guy that sucks. And he like looked at the promoter. He's like, "Can I wrestle this kid?" And he like pointed at me. And the guy was like tired of dealing with Herzog's bullshit. He's like, "Sure, whatever." So I got booked, even though I wasn't on the show. Like, so Herzog got me booked. But so
that shows it ain't just all about just being the fucking right off the bat. Badass, kicking ass, Goldberg style.
You gotta pay your dues.
Put them in. We'll get you somewhere.
No, as far as like the biting the toe and the balance and the story and the athleticism, I think it comes down to like it comes down to your opponent. And for me personally, and everyone's different. I try to be diverse. So like, I think that's my biggest strength is diversity. So when I wrestle Brandon Aarons. We have a 2012 Super Indie match, and it's cool, and I'm taking DVDs on the apron. When I wrestle Herzog, it's like, well, how would I beat some big tall monster? He doesn't wear shoes. I'm gonna focus on his toe. Yeah. It's like I try to be as diverse as possible, and I'm wrestling girl luchadors sometimes, and throwing dodgeballs at them. That's my approach to wrestling is just try to be diverse as possible. When the story's there, it's there. When it's not, try to make it.
It helps get other parts of the crowd that maybe not in the one way, and then they see a different way that you're going with the next match.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I kind of like this guy.
And like when they're like, "Oh, you got to wrestle Cash in Centralia," I'm like, "Well, I guess I gotta have a hardcore match with Cash."
Gotta do it. Is that the match where this came to life? You were like, ugh. So it was like in the Centralia show, you kind of looked at the crowd and gave them like the picture frame.
I remember right at the end of the match.
Yeah. And then you kind of came out and you was just like, fucking loser.
Yeah, like you. Loser. So it was. So I think, I can't remember, maybe it was Centralia exactly, but I walked through the curtain and I'm like trying to get heat. And I just remember there's one person staring at me and I locked eyes with him. And then I went back and I was like, "You guys suck." I kept doing my heel thing, and when I turned back around, they're just still staring at me. So I was like, and then like their deadpan stare went to, you're a loser. And I was like, well, now I can get a reaction. So now, where were we? I wrestled Jimmy Carrot, Brownstown, and I remember I was on the top apron. I'm like trying to get heat, and top rope. Trying to get heat, and I saw like some person, and they're just looking at the phone and looking up and looking at the phone, and I'm pointing at them, and then I'm like, "Yeah, you loser." And I saw them put their phone there, I'm like, yeah. So it's like now this guy went from like half paying attention to like now I'm gonna watch because I want this guy.
He's gonna see what happens.
to get beat up, you know.
I'm gonna watch you get your ass kicked.
And that was the first match of the show too, which I thought was like, now this guy is into every match, you know. So,
he might have got dragged to the show, but you put him into it.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not losing. You're a loser.
That's right, man. You put him into it.
Yeah, that's how. Like, no, I'm not losing. You're a loser.
That's right, man. That's how Nick Natural was with me. We had this little thing, and I don't know what it was. I just wanted to see, because he's a real cocky, arrogant motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Lose. Yeah. I want him. But as a fan, I wanted him to look good in front of me to pick on me kind of thing, make his character look really good, picking on the big buff, scary guy, and that's what I like about that. You know what I'm saying? We kind of got into this whole thing, and I'd be like, hey Nick, will you pop my kid's balloon, or hey man, will you do this, or you know what I'm saying? And,
well, I like the fucking hooligans up until last week. When the bigger dude with the beard just ghosted my fucking handshake.
Yeah, he did.
And like they was all like,
yeah, he did. I mean, we both was like, what the
they
fuck
seemed like he took that personal. I was like, let's go, Eagle Eye, Coco. You fucking hooligans. Like, that's it. It's personal. That's it, you motherfucker.
I had Matt Jackson, the guy that runs Anarchy. He told me one time, you might not be the reason someone came to a show, but you can be the reason they come back.
They keep coming back.
Yeah,
sure.
and that sticks with me. And when you say this, you're naming people and stuff. I'm like, so that person you said might have been dragged to the show. Now he's paying attention.
Yeah.
Now he's coming to every show.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Now this is fun.
Neat,
man.
I liked it when what was this what do they call themselves? The Suicide Squad or something? What was that? Sabotage Squad. And I really liked that because nobody was turning. That's Dirk or Bigler, Burke Bigler. That's one.
Oh, I never got to see them wrestle.
He I only did it one time, and it was out there at the place in Alton off of 3rd Street or whatever, or something like that. That one, not the one up by
Franklin Lodge.
Not the Franklin Lodge. I think it's the other one down towards the river.
So there was the Masonic Lodge, and there was the other spot.
Oh, Spalding Hall.
Spalding Hall. That's right. And
last time we were there, the bathroom fucking started coming up to the bottom, and it was like that deep in the dude. It was a mess.
Yeah, it was
a mess.
Yeah.
I never got to see him. John wrestle with the
they had to turn the lights out and everything. Got real dark, and then they come out with the glow sticks and then this and that. And I thought that was kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? Because they weren't doing really nothing like that.
You talked about investment with the jackets. Like, they probably had to go to a Dollar General and buy every glow stick.
Right. Yeah,
it's like, what are you gonna do to get yourself over? You know?
Yeah. Right.
You got a question? It looks like you're ready to ask me a question, Lonnie.
No, I like this one. So in the indie scene, who right now should people be paying attention to?
Oh man,
not like being biased.
Locally or like on the big?
You as a wrestling fan, it don't matter locally. We'll stick locally. Locally around the area.
He comes to town
loosely area.
I like Calvin Kelly a lot.
Okay.
Not just because.
Who's he mainly wrestled for? Is everybody?
Yeah. He wrestled the new guys and the hooligans at Pops, and he was in the cruiserweight scramble one time.
Yeah. Him and his teammate.
Yeah, he's kind of in shape. Got some muscles. Yeah. Okay. I think he's entertaining.
That was the only time I seen him.
I think he's got a bright future.
They were easy to root against.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's easy to dislike. I like him personally. Okay. I like Jimmy Carrot. He's been around for a while, but I think he is always exciting to watch. He wrestled Camaro here in Salem. Did the big shooting star press. Did the big shooting star press and missed and landed on his face. I was like, bro, that's such a bad bump to take.
Yeah.
For Camaro, obviously.
The Regent.
Yeah, great.
What about ladies-wise?
Ladies-wise? Okay. Ooh. Sophia Rose, she'll be there. July 11th. She's really good.
In Alton?
No, Grant City.
Grant City. Oh yeah, this is a live show. That's a fucking awesome venue.
Yeah, she's super athletic. I really like Noelle too.
She was the champ for a minute. She got the braces.
Rachel Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Rachel, man.
I like Rachel a lot, too.
I've watched her for a while now.
And, like, yeah, she had, like, one of her first matches at Spalding Hall for Lenny. And then she's been all over the place. She's
really good.
That was
so, like, she's so good. I wouldn't, when you said keep your eye on, I was like, she's already made it, you know? Like, so I'm like, but yeah, she's fantastic. And her and Maggie Lee, when they had the 2 matches back to back in Alton, those were some of the best women's matches I've
You don't
seen.
get a lot of back to back matches.
Yeah, I was
more
just
like one and done, move on.
And they had 2 matches that were completely different and like very complex.
Yeah, they each have their own fucking way of going direction.
Yeah. I was just like, it was good. I remember watching it like, why did I even do this?
Shit. The girls are out doing the boys. All right, so you have how do you mentally prepare for a big match? Got any pre-ritual show show rituals?
No, this is gonna make me sound like an asshole in real life, but I'm like the opposite. Like I see wrestlers nervous and like, okay, trying to. And like before a match, I'm usually like, "There's no way this is gonna be bad. Like this is we're gonna kill it." Like I'm like way too confident.
Yeah.
Is it more about your passion you have for it, the love you have for it, you enjoy it?
No, it's like a trust thing. Like I know what I'm gonna do, and like if I'm wrestling someone good, like. If I'm wrestling Camaro, I'm like, there's no way this is gonna be bad. Like me and Camaro are gonna kill this, and then like
have trust in
and that has bit me before in the butt because like I'll if something goes wrong in a match and I'll be thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, if I would have just put a little thought into this before the match, like, this would have been this should have been obvious. Like, of course that wasn't gonna work. I don't know why we even tried that. So like, I think that's more of like I don't have like a ritual or like I'm not like nervous pre-match.
It's like food that you eat beforehand.
No, like I mean, as far as that goes, like I try to kind of do what bodybuilders do, where like end of the week I'm like less carb, more water, and then day of the show it's like no water.
Just for the appearance wise.
Yeah, and I'll have some sugars just to like make my veins and the muscles pop. But like before the match, I don't have like any. I might do a little cross, just to keep myself safe. But
I like the way before the match, there ain't a lot of wrestlers that pre-match come out and fuck with the crowd.
Oh
yeah.
Like you come out beforehand, just getting in someone's face.
Yeah. So,
like,
let me talk about that.
Not to cut you off real fast. I've had friends I bring to the show that remember you just for the fact that you're like,
no one likes
it's just annoying.
Yeah, no.
I feel awkward as fuck.
Right.
Like, who's this dude? Lonnie, what's going on here? What should I do?
So Adam Cole,
take it.
the wrestler, like the WWE wrestler, Adam Cole talks about like how he did Adam Cole Bebe for 10 years before anyone did it with him. That's kind of how I feel with that. Like, part of that is
we appreciate it.
A lot of wrestlers are trying to get over with the boys, and they're backstage and they're seeing their friends and they're hanging out, and especially when you're town to town, and I like all the guys, but like.
But the crowd is where you're gonna go places with.
And it's not even that. That is true, and it does work that way. But for me, it's like. I know all these guys. I'm going to talk to all these guys a bunch, especially when the show starts. I'm going to be trapped in a locker room because I don't want to, I don't want to go back out and do this while the crowd's trying to watch wrestling matches. So, like, before the show and during intermission and after the show, it's like, I'm just going to get in people's faces. I'm just going to, especially if I'm, like, the last match or if I'm the first match, I'm like, I want them to hate me before the bell rings.
They're just waiting to like, who the fuck's this dude I gotta boo for?
And I think of it as an advantage too, because a lot of guys try to establish that they're the bad guy, the good guy before or like during the match. They're poking their eyes or ref, and I'm like, I've already been doing. I started 2 hours ago making them hate me, and then it's fun. Like people say, I like scaring people, and I don't know.
That's when people are throwing the fucking Pokemon cards at you and like
tearing and stuff.
It's a great time.
But it's and like I said, like a lot of the wrestlers are back there hanging out with their friends and they're excited to see their friends, and I get it because I am too. But like we're gonna be trapped probably a lot of times locker rooms are undersized. We're gonna be trapped for the rest of the show together. Like, let me get out there and like try to get in people's faces and like, you know, some people are trying to sell merch, and I get that, and I try to sell merch too, but it's like I'll be close enough to my table.
You could sell a lot more. You don't. I don't.
You don't think
I don't think you approach it good enough.
I'm trying to just get in people's faces.
There's some enough to where we'll buy your shit. You've pissed us off enough to where
I've seen people buy shirts for family and friends that don't like me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like, oh, you hate Ben?
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy him a shirt.
Yeah.
One of the
Christmas,
new guys,
and it's one size too small.
New guys' shirts.
I
never bought one.
You missed that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, when we seen them guys come out, we knew they were
it was
good.
like
they're really good. Yeah,
they complement each other perfectly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the 6-man we did in Pacific. I'm gonna bury Jake Bosch a little bit. So it's me and the new guys versus KLD, Brandon Aarons, and Tyler Copeland.
Yeah.
And we called the match and whatnot. And then if you go back and watch the video and you see me come through the curtain, I look frazzled. I'm not on like I normally am. And you can tell, like, go back and watch it right now on YouTube or IWTV. IWTV. Lenny would probably prefer me to say. But you can see, like, in my face, like, there's something off about me, you know? And if you watch it, it's because right before we walk through the curtain, I'm like, hey, Jake, tell me the match. And he starts talking. I'm like, no, that's not right. And he's like, oh, yeah. So this happens, and then you do this. I'm like, no, we changed that. And he's like, oh. And he's like, this happens, and this happens, and this, and then this and this. And I'm like, no, Jake, we did. That's not what we called. We mentioned that, but we're not doing that. And then, like, I hear the jet start taking off, like, or like whatever it was. I'm like, our music started. I'm like, Jake doesn't know any of this match.
You weren't paying attention?
Jake is going to screw this whole match up. Like, this is going to be so bad. And, like, we just have to walk out there and do this entrance. And, like, the three of us don't...
Let him play plan B. We'll do plan A.
Yeah, we're supposed to be, like, this in-sync heel group. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, oh, Jake's going to just screw this. As soon as the bell rings, like, Jake's going to screw everything up. And then the match starts. And we're, like, 2 or 3 spots in. And Jake is just hitting everything, like... exactly like we called. And I remember I'm selling on the outside. I'm like, why would Jake give me this anxiety? Like, was he ribbing me? Like, was this a joke? Like, did he do this? But no, it was just
it all came to him.
Yeah, it's just his ADHD or something. I tried to just his ADHD or something. I don't know, but and then I tried to
all the other processes we thought about. I figured it out.
And he's such a little gaslighter too, because I'm like, I tried to like tell him like, you gave me all this anxiety. He's like, I don't remember any of that. I didn't want to strangle you. He's like, I don't remember us talking about that at all.
That's funny shit, dude.
So, like, he ribbed me and didn't mean to.
That's fucking hilarious.
This is my favorite wrestling story, and it involves the new guys. And this better make the final cut.
I'm a huge new guys fan.
So, they're new, obviously, and it's when I turned heel, and, like, Jake hit under the ring, legit the whole, like, 2.5 hours of the show, and some Ben Trust whitey tighties. But the finish is Scott's got to hit Brandon Aarons with the belt, and... I go up to Scott. I'm like, hey, I know you're new. Best way is just send it. Just make it look real. You know,
let him react.
Like, let him. Brandon Aarons is good. He'll protect himself. Just shoot it. I don't want you stopping short. I don't want it to look weak. Just send it. You know. So some time goes by, and I guess Brandon Aarons decides to pull Scott aside and say, hey, the best thing you could do is lay it in, you know, I'll protect myself. Like, so he gasses Scott up too. He's like, you know, lay it in, like. So before the match starts, KLD pulls Scott aside and tells him, "Hey, don't be a wussy.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, send it. You know, hit him hard, make it count." So like, I can only imagine from Scott's point of view, like
pumped up.
Everyone's like, like I remember he's like pacing back and forth on the stage, you know, and like
letting him down,
punching himself. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna cream him, you know. Or if I was him, I'd be like, why do these guys think I'm a puss? Like, I'm gonna prove that like I'm a badass. So like, then the match happens and Scott fucking kills Brandon with the belt. Just like it made
he busted his lip, didn't he?
Yeah, it made this ping.
Yes.
And you can see
I remember that.
If you watch the video, you can see me. I'm like looking at the ref. I'm like, check on.
Was Brandon's family there?
Yeah, his whole family.
I remember that.
It was the hardest
Yes, sir.
belt shot I've ever seen.
They were pissed.
Yeah.
It was, and like, we can't blame Scott because all three of us gassed it up and said to hit him hard. Best thing is a month later, the new guys are wrestling Tyler Copeland and Brandon Aarons in a tag match, and Scott's hitting Brandon with the belt again. So he hits Brandon, and he comes back.
Was he taking the light?
And we're all like, dude, you smoked him again. And Scott's like, oh my God, I can't believe I smoked him again. You know, we're like, what's wrong with you? And we're all giving him shit. And then Brandon comes back and he's like, looking all beat up and disheveled. And Scott's like, dude, Brandon, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you again. And Brandon's like, I'm fine.
My bad. Fuck. That kind of shit, man. That was a good one, man. I remember Brandon posting that picture and busted his shit, and I seen the video. I'm just like,
remember
God.
the family.
The video doesn't.
Once you talked about it, I remember the family, because I don't know if you guys seen that part.
Oh, they were worried.
They were fucking like pissed, irate, scared.
Yeah.
We're like
the video doesn't do it
which
justice
makes all
because
of us.
it rang. It made that like metal ding sound. I'm like, oh God, like I'm supposed to cover it. And I'm like, Brandon, you okay? You know?
right. All right, so
no, as all that was like leading in, and then like your character was building up, we're gonna just jump to it. The injury.
Oh,
How the injury happen? You okay with talking about that?
Yeah.
Like,
So
personal life kind of outside of wrestling.
Yeah. So my personal life outside of wrestling is I'm a police officer.
Okay.
And there's not a great story. We were
chasing the perp into the river.
Yeah. The worst part is we already arrested the guy. He's in handcuffs, and so we have to do our own bookings. And I tell someone that works, like one of the jail employees that are not a cop, to watch my prisoner so I can do his booking. I got his driver's
Even
license.
for the jail, you guys got to do all that.
Yeah, we got to do all the booking. So I'm booking the guy, and he slips the cuffs to in front of him. So he's got
around him.
Yeah. And the guy that's supposed to be watching him isn't watching him. And he wasn't irate or anything. Like, he was pretty calm about it all. And he just jumped on my back. Tried to give me like a UFC rear naked with the cuffs.
But not irately? Hold on. How do you
How
did you explain that?
like he wasn't
he
mad.
Didn't choke me out to death irately.
No, the whole time we were arresting him, he wasn't like resisting at all. Or,
so you had no.
Yeah, I had no indication that like he was going to be a problem.
Okay.
And I thought someone was watching.
I just thought
you weren't.
Like he didn't do it with like.
No.
Any.
I know it wasn't personal because we didn't have any personal issues. Yeah. But he like jumped on my back, and I didn't go straight back. I went kind of at an angle, and my knee just popped. I guess I didn't feel anything at the time, but when they pulled us apart and I tried to stand up, I just fell over, and then like my knee started swelling up, and I was in denial, and I was like, "It'll be fine, you know." And then like I have a show that weekend, and I'm like, and then a big show for Lenny. Here in Salem, like the next weekend, and I'm like, it'll be fine. And I call Lenny, I'm like, hey, I just had an MRI, but I think it's gonna be okay. And I kind of knew at that point it wasn't gonna be, and I was just like lying to myself. But the worst part is it didn't happen. It's a good thing because I have workers' comp, but it didn't happen in the ring. So then I had to awkwardly like contact everybody, and I had to like, I had a lot of bookings for a lot of different companies, so I tried to reach out to them first to let them know I was hurt so they didn't just get blindsided seeing a post on Facebook, you know? Yeah. So I was like, hey, I'm going to announce this later today, but I'm hurt. You're going to have to replace me. And I actually put over Calvin Kelly a lot. I was like, hey, you should use Calvin Kelly because, like, we kind of are similar. But, yeah. And then I just made a Facebook post. I had to be like, hey, sorry, guys. Like, I won't be around for a while.
That's a shitty way.
And it just, it felt awkward. And it's like, if it would have happened in the ring, there would be a video. I could post the clip, and people would be like, oh, Ben got hurt. Oh, it makes sense. But then, like, this way was, like, weird because it was like, You gave your health. Yeah. This way is weird because people are like, oh, is this a work? Like, is this storyline? He's hurt.
Where are we going with this?
And then like people are like, oh, did you hear Ben Truss hurt? And they're like, no, he's not. And then they had to like, oh, look, he posted that he's hurt. And it's like, it was just awkward. And people would be like, is this real?
The Salem shows where you came out and like.
I tried to like.
Yeah.
Because I needed to.
There was no chance for lead in. Like there was no lead in. This happened.
Hey.
And you were manned up and fucking gave the belt away, even though it's your belt. You know,
he was the last person to beat me. Yeah. So that's why he was getting a title shot, because he beat me in Centralia. And then it's like...
I missed that show.
To me, it seemed fair that he got it because, he was the last person to beat the champ.
Mm-hmm. It should have been up for grabs. It should have been, because you're going to be out for a little while.
Yeah.
But you're going to get it back.
And I think Keith is doing a great job.
Yeah.
And Keith is like a good personal friend of mine.
Same here.
Yeah, he's cool shit.
Yeah. We did some golf tournaments together, but it was so fucking weird rooting against him that first show. When he came out, me and Chris go, he's here, right?
Yeah, he's right.
Like, we should boo. And like, I said something about his goatee. And if you're ever a Keith Smith fan, leading up to that, you wouldn't expect this to come out of his mouth, but he's like, yeah, eating pussy makes it connect better or something like that. Makes it connect better or something like that. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I think he's...
What'd you say to me?
He's a third generation wrestler.
Yeah.
He's been around wrestling like forever, his whole life, and I don't think he's ever been a heel.
Oh, wow.
So when I was like, hey, you want to do some heel stuff with me? Like, I remember like approaching him. He's like, yes, I've been dying. I've been waiting for
he's been
like
waiting
the
to get
opportunity.
rid of the mustache gimmick.
Yeah, I think he's like for 2 years he's been trying to be a bad guy. And he's like just waiting for someone to.
Yeah, we had a golf tournament in Centralia. It was me and him, and there was probably like 40 other teams. We didn't realize it was the biggest tournament of the year in Centralia with all the main golfers.
Oh man!
So, depending on what your score is, the next day your tee time is that early. So the worst golfers are early in the morning. We go in the clubhouse, look at the scoreboards. We're like 18 strokes behind the worst. The worst, not behind the leaders. Behind the worst of them, we're going. Yeah, I think we're gonna be 6 a.m.
You're not just in last place. You're in like
you shouldn't be here. Right, score like not even close. Yeah,
that's funny shit.
Yeah, that's not the tournament to be in.
Yeah, do your coworkers at the precinct know about your wrestling career? Are they fans or do they grief or grief over it?
So when I was a city cop, everyone knew. Like you can't keep secrets.
Is the cop brotherhood more like a brotherhood like you're gonna get shit for it, just fucking around like brothers type thing?
No, so it's funny because when I first, I was a wrestler before I was a police officer. So when I first started telling everybody I was a wrestler, I was like nervous. Like you never know. Like I was a little like, hey guys, like I
but you got the back up to like I've wrestled before. Like
yeah, exactly. Well, that helps.
The real stuff.
For the most part, everyone's like, "This is awesome, bro!" I grew up on like I have this theory that everyone got into wrestling at some point in their life. Like every person on earth,
absolutely,
has had a wrestling phase. Yeah. Like they were like, oh, like because you talk to people and they're like, oh, I used to love Von Erich, or I used to love Harley, like old people. I used to love Harley Race and Ric Flair. A Stone Cold. I was such a huge Stone Cold fan as a fan.
Sexy.
Yeah, it's like everyone had a wrestling phase, and then like when they find out that you're doing it, and then like
it's intriguing.
It doesn't look dollar store too. Like I would be more embarrassed if I was showing them pictures and like I didn't have cool gear. Yeah. And I was like wrestling in front of
some tights, nothing else.
No gear. 10 people, but it's like
a pair of pajamas.
Yeah, it looks real. You know what I mean? It looks not real, but it looks real good. You know what I mean? Like when I show my coworker, I'm like, hey, look at my jacket. It's awesome. They're like, cool. This is cool. So Yeah, I have to wear a suit every day now, so I try to like keep those lives a little separate.
What are you, like desk wise or what?
No, well I have been on so the assignment I'm assigned to a courthouse, and I work with family court now. So I work in a courthouse.
Is that a bailiff or not a bailiff?
No.
In the courtroom, just suited up in the courtroom, or what do you mean?
Yeah, but the whole courthouse basically.
Okay.
So I have to wear a suit every day, and I'm like more in like a manager.
Yeah.
Edit that.
Yeah, right.
I'm more
managerial.
So like I try to be a little bit more professional because like I'm not just like a bummy street cop anymore. So I kind of keep it up, but it still creeps up. People are like, the funny thing is like I had like someone go to Pops, like a guy that works at the juvenile justice jail. He went to the Pops show, and then he walks by my office because I have an office and a desk and shit. Like a real professional, and he stops and he looks at me. He's like, "Jet." Yeah, it's me. That's me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Even funny story. When I was doing my physical therapy, I'm sitting there doing my physical therapy, and this guy, like I don't know if he's a physical therapist or what he does, but he's there and he's wiping off one of the tables. And he's staring at me, and he's like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "Are you Warhorse?" I was like,
you probably know me from somewhere.
I was like, "No." He's like, "Were you in a match with Warhorse?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "You're the jacket guy." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I saw you at the Grandel," and he was you and Warhorse and Vegas. But I was like, I thought it was funny. He's just staring at me.
Pretty cool fucking shows, man.
Yeah.
Pretty cool venues.
I'm very fortunate. That's like, I hate when people are like, "So what's your goal?" Like, are you trying to go to WWE? Trying to go to AEW?
That's
Like,
the next question. Is Chuck.
Do you like more like just what you're doing?
Oh, I'm having fun. It's very easy to just get in a pattern of like, hey, I'm having fun, I'm doing this, and like I try to still treat this like a profession and like a job. But I'm like one of the few wrestlers to have like had two separate careers where like every show I was on was shitty. Every show was like a dollar store show, and to go from that to like where I am now in my career, where I'm doing like some cool shows, some cool matches, I'm wrestling cool people.
Good stories.
It's just hard not to appreciate it and not to be grateful.
Yeah.
So
you have
it's
to
like,
almost take that step back and look and make sure you like, I'm still grounded in what's fucking awesome about what I'm doing.
Yeah, and
I'm lucky.
And I don't think my legacy is gonna be 10 years from now. I think there's gonna be some guy getting ready to get signed, and he's gonna be like on a podcast, and they're going like, "Who are some of your favorite wrestlers?" And he's gonna be like, "Oh, there's this guy Ben Trust, and he used to call people losers, and he bit Herzog's toe, and this and that." And like I just see a lot of that.
How cool is that though? To like somewhere in a lot of people's memory, you've stuck a little impression.
Yeah,
like
so
something you've done.
I'll give you an example.
Made them remember you.
Vic Capri. Did you? I wrestled him at Pops.
Oh, I wasn't at the Pops one.
Oh,
I was at the Pops one.
So
I was there.
Yeah, the muscle guy that I wrestled
with tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I saw an interview where Samoa Joe says he's like one of the best indie wrestlers, unsigned wrestlers. And I think if he was taller, he would have got signed. But
he was short and stocky, right?
Yeah, he's awesome. But like I've stolen so much from Vic Capri because I watched his matches that he had in 2002 or whatever, and I'm like, this is such a cool spot and a cool move, So like, I just hope one day there's some guy that's like, I stole this from Ben Trust, it was super cool, and Ben Trust did this, and he beat up a Pokemon. And
I like that one move that you do when you dive into the ring, the rope, whatever, and you bounce back like that.
So the rebound,
that's cool as shit.
I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna clip this and put this on my Instagram. So I stole that from a guy named Dingo, Dingo. And actually,
did they eat his baby?
Yeah, when he did it, he would like fake a dive. So he'd act like he was gonna dive, and he'd hit it, and then like hit a pose, and like the crowd would go wild. And I was like, oh, I'll hit a clothesline, So like whenever I was doing a lot of scrambles, and I'd make sure there was one guy in the ring, and like everyone else was out there, so 'cause they'd see people do dives onto the people, so I was like, oh, I'll just act like I'm gonna dive onto the crowd of wrestlers and just turn around and clothesline the guy in the ring,
Dan, the dad's able to get out of it. Oh, but I don't think he'll be able to get out of that.
So I stole that from Dingo. So Dingo, thank you.
That's awesome.
You gave me my finisher.
Good job, Dingo.
Yeah,
Dingo, Dingo, and Dingo was his name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm sure like Nigel McGuinness and like I've had people tell me, I saw this wrestler. Tyler Bate does it on TV from time to time, but like I stole it from Dingo. So I don't know where Dingo got it from, but that's where I stole it from.
Yeah. All right. Have you ever done wrestling moves in your job, which is dumb because I'm sure you.
No, we're on the injury. We're on the.
As far as like the cop and the wrestling thing goes, I think it's funny because it's the cops don't ever really make jokes. Like I've said this, I was on a podcast called Poorly Made Police Meetings Podcast. Great podcast, check it out. But I told the same thing. It's. I don't really have cops being like, oh, did you hit a finishing move in this resistance or whatever. It's like the other thing. Like I'll be at a wrestling show and the wrestlers that know I'm a cop will be like, hey, can I borrow your taser and tase this guy? I'm like, no, I don't bring that with me when I go to like, you know what I mean? Or they'll be like, oh, let me borrow your baton so I can hit the guy with the baton. It's like I don't carry that on me when I go to I'm trying to wrestle here.
I'm a police officer at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like my cop friends are like really respectful of the wrestling. They might ask me like, oh, when's your next show and this and that. But it's like my wrestling friends are like the ones that are like, oh, bro, can you get some cops to come to the show and arrest me? I think it'd help my character if I got arrested. You know, it's like it's stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. I figured, I imagine like the kids would know you as a cop, and then finding out that you're a wrestler would be cool too. If they, if you were like working in the neighborhood and a bunch of the kids came up, whatever, and they're like, oh, he's a wrestler too.
It's happened. It happened a lot in the city when I was a city cop, and I had a guy riding with me one day. It was his first time riding with me, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a wrestler, and I only have to tell you this. I'm not that big a dude, but I have to tell you because it will happen. And he was like, what are you talking? I'm like, what the fuck? And I have a recording of it happening on my body cam. But like, we're like leaving a QT. They're like, I saw Tyler Copeland hit you with the chair in Alton. And you're a cop. Holy crap. It's like the fans that don't know when they see me, they'll be like staring at me and they'll be like, that is him. That's him. And they're like, you're a wrestler. I know you're a wrestler. I saw it. And then like you have this like crazy wrestling fans screaming at a cop in a QT parking lot.
Speaking of cops and wrestling fans, at the Granite City show, PWE just had like their last show.
Yeah.
So the very last match,
Justin Valencia.
You were there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Granite City.
It was like
my wife was there.
Dude, it was so crazy, so live. So me, Lenny, and Sharita are at the edge of the ring right when the match got done. Lenny's making his way up to the steps. Here comes a full beer can. 6 inches from his fucking face, right? So there was the row of people. We get done with the match. I was wanting to approach them and tell them, because for the whole show, they were doing an awesome job. Except for the beer can. They were doing great. So I approached them like, not an asshole, just like, you guys are fucking awesome, talking, like, you guys need to come back. First show they've ever been to. They've never been to a wrestling show in their life. They got turned on so big by it. They're all police officers from Granite City. And I was like, everything was fucking awesome except for the beer can being thrown. But, like, it was great fucking show.
Here's my thought of that. When I turned heel in St. Louis, with the new guys that you talked about, people threw trash.
Oh yeah.
And
you were like the biggest baby face of the company.
Yeah, and I loved it. And I think it's okay to, as long as it's safe. Like I want you to react. And my problem with the beer was it was a beer bottle.
Yeah.
So like that glass could hurt one of us.
But
if you were throwing empty beer cans and hot dog wrappers at us, go ahead. Like I'm happy that you feel such a strong emotion about what you just saw.
I've asked
but as long as it's safe. Please don't throw bricks or chairs at me.
Shit, man.
I've got the okay to Pop Show coming up this year to throw some pink dildos at a certain wrestler.
Have fun.
I've got the okay to do it.
Yeah, have fun. You can get it cleared.
Because that's more of an adult friendly.
You're buying them though.
Kind of place.
I'll throw them. You're buying them.
I think
be the small versions.
I think one of my favorite things about wrestling is you're watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But you can react with Jon Snow.
Each character.
Yeah, like your favorite character can come out and you can go, you suck, and he could say, hey, you can be part of your favorite TV show.
For sure.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You can. Like, so the first show that we ever went to with PW was in Salem. The reason I got involved was there was a wrestler you guys had that like talked so much shit to the crowd that when it was done, I was like, dude, his wit and like how he didn't give a fuck and how he it was so creative was so cool. I wanted to meet him, so we meet him after the show, and it was just like he was coming down the hallway like, oh man, did I piss these people off so much where they're gonna like want to fight me? And I was like, no, we're good. You were awesome.
So I've had something like that, but where the fans weren't cool, and they weren't fans. And I should have known that before I said anything. I was wrestling in Wisconsin for No Regrets Wrestling. And,
no regrets.
And there was the venue was like a hallway with two ends. So on one end of the hallway there was a wrestling show. On the other end there was a wedding reception. So I'm wrestling.
The dicks from the.
I'm wrestling, and I look over, and in the doorway, because they didn't want to buy tickets to watch the wrestling, but there's all these groomsmen. There's a lady clearly in a bride's dress, and all these dudes in suits. And I'm trying to get heat, and I should have got heat to the fans that bought tickets. Mm-hmm. But I see
You went the other way.
I saw the bride, and my brain, I was getting mad, because I'm like, hey, if you want to watch me wrestle, buy a ticket. You know, my ego got in my way. But I was going to yell that, but I had heard other wrestlers yell that. But I looked at her, I was like, see this? You regret getting married now? And those guys were just drunk enough to be really mad. Because I looked over and people were trying to keep them out of the
Say to my wife, your wife, bitch.
And then the thing, and then so fast forward to like 2 hours later, the show's over, and those guys are probably 2 hours drunker, and I'm loading stuff in my car, and I have like one of my friends with me, and I see like a group of guys in suits, and I see a bunch of girls like pushing them back, like no, that's fucking him. I'm like, I gotta get in the car right now. So I hopped in the car and drove off. I'm not trying to fight.
Yeah, I can't take on 5 guys.
Yeah,
like
5 kids, groomsmen, you know.
That's funny.
Not happening.
Yeah. So.
Damn, bro, you really went there, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, because like when you buy a ticket, I was like, because like when you buy a ticket to be a fan, like you're there, you get it.
Right.
The fan, if the wrestler insults you, you're part of the show. Those guys were not there to that.
They weren't fair game.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they weren't fair game. And I was like, lesson learned.
That's fucking hilarious.
I also, let me say this: my favorite thing about dweeb. No one else says it. I stole it from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because someone posted this meme that was like, be the American, Japanese people think you are, and had all these like...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan?
It's alright.
Okay.
But I saw this Bandit Keith on there, there's like American guy, and I'm still trying to figure out who Benjamin Trust is as a bad guy. I'm like, well, he's a bad guy, he kind of fits my vibe. He's calling everybody dweebs on Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, you're a dweeb, you're a dweeb, you're a dweeb. I'm like, I'll say it. It's PG.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Older people get it. The dads of the
no one says it, and you can't offend anybody.
Right.
You know, like if I call you a dweeb, it's not like I'm saying, hey, you fat, bald, ugly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
right.
that's offended.
Yeah.
You can call boys.
It ain't
dweebs.
nerd. It's dweeb.
No.
Dweeb's a little different.
Yeah, you can call boys dweeb. You can call girls dweeb. You can
general.
Yeah, you can call anyone a dweeb, regardless of
Them,
their race,
they.
orientation. it's completely, it's all encompassing. It's just, hey, fuck you, dweeb.
Right. not a dweeb if you fucking wear his shirts.
Yeah.
It used to be a company back in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s. It was dweeb. Because my sister was an older, cooler chick. And it was like this nerdy dweeb shirt, but the dweeb was a fucking...
Whatever, dweeb's mine now. I think it's funny when I call someone a dweeb and I see them smile. They're like, "Yes, I came here."
Yeah.
Like whatever you do.
Let me ask an exclusive. When do you have a timetable on coming back? Injury-wise, how's the process going? How's it? I noticed you don't have a brace. You don't have a cast. You're leg free, naked from the knee down.
So I'll just say this: naked from the knee down. I am doing everything I can to come back. So I have physical therapy for an hour a day with a physical therapist 3 days a week, and then the other 4 days a week I do an hour at home. And I moved a treadmill into my garage.
Oh, yeah.
I got the weights and the bands and all the stuff that I have in physical therapy because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take this serious. And I do as much as I can, and I've even been told by my physical therapist, hey, slow down a little.
Yeah.
Take some time to recover here and there.
You gotta have rest days. For sure.
I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't. You definitely have a very strong presence in the gym. That's for sure. That's one of my favorite thing about that is I love a good wrestler that's got a good outfit and a fucking good body.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a couple of them out there that are bigger that do all right, you know, in real wrestling or whatever. But I prefer to watch people that really put their heart and soul into that. That's their body and their.
It goes back to the taking it serious and the investment. When you have 3 seconds, because we have 3 seconds, everyone's scrolling through TikToks and Instagram Reels. When you come out and you're in shape, one thing that's communicated is, oh, he takes this serious. Did something die?
No, you're good.
I'm great.
Your camera's fine. I'm just gonna change this one.
Fucking man. No.
That's right.
But no, when you're in
all
shape,
ugly.
you've already communicated to the fans that, like, hey, you take this serious. And there's this thing in wrestling called competitive edge, competitive advantage. I'll use Speedball Mike Bailey because he's like one of the easiest ones to recognize. Like when he comes out and he's doing karate kicks and stuff, you're like, oh, that guy's a karate guy. That's why he's gonna win this fight. He's does karate.
Right.
So when you come out and you got muscles, they're like, well, he's probably gonna win because I know from seeing his muscles he lifts weights and this other dude doesn't. You know,
Right.
so it gives you this psychological competitive advantage before you even have to like worry about what your character's competitive advantage is. You know,
Right.
So
Yeah.
He's got the smarts. That's why still the champ.
That's right.
in my heart. I think we were talking about dweebs a minute ago. I think it's gonna be great the first time I call a heel a dweeb. Like I've been saving it forever, but the first time, if I ever want to be a good guy again, the first time I look at
That's gonna
Nick
be
Natural
your
and I say, "Shut up, dweeb."
Yeah.
That's when we go. He's back.
They're cooked.
The kids, I can be like, you can start cheering now.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a lot of kids around. It's like, let us know who you cheer for, and who you put them up.
I imagine I'll get a dweeb chant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got you.
Yeah, you got how we make signs and shit.
Yeah. Oh, let me say that on camera. I love wrestling signs. My favorite thing about being a pro wrestler is going to a show and seeing a bunch of wrestling signs. So if you're ever buying a ticket to see a Ben Trust match and you have a Ben Trust sign, you were my favorite.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, we try to go out and get a few of them boards and we'll do one on each side.
Oh yeah.
And fucking throw it together and shit. Yeah.
He had the harsh dog sign.
Yeah, hard dog. That shit was so funny, dude. I seen that video.
I laugh.
Oh, dude, I laughed my ass off, bro. And I said, I'm gonna make a sign. I want a harsh dog in my mouth.
I said, Harsh, you gotta start selling hot dogs.
Glory hole hot dogs.
Get your harsh dog.
Get your harsh dog. Yeah,
That's
he
funny
would
shit.
sell 1,000,000 of them.
Yeah. So what's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Besides, you're a police officer.
Me and my wife have been together 11 years.
Oh, nice.
11.
Married or just been together 11?
We've been together 11, married 7.
Cool.
She's actually older than me.
I thought she'd be
Wow.
here tonight.
Yeah.
I thought you would
Kind of part of it.
Yeah, we have separate lives, but yeah, she the first time I asked her out, I was 19, and she was like 24, 25, and she said no.
Oh, yeah.
So
You gotta come to me a little better than that.
yeah. When I was like 21, she was 25, 26, and I was like, hey,
No.
remember the time I asked you out? Why don't we go on a date now? So like, it feels like we've been together longer. But yeah. So yeah, I'm like,
No kids or nothing?
we have one kid.
one kid.
One kid, Finley.
Cool.
Little guy.
How's little Finley?
He's great. I try to.
How old?
Oh, he's 5.
5?
I don't really. I keep him out of the public
Yeah.
eye
True.
because
absolutely.
So.
You got a lot of heat to come on you.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine if
I don't
really
want-
listening to everyone talk about
When I told you when I
dad.
threw the Pikachu, and they said the Reddit post was like destroys
Man,
Pikachu plushie.
dude,
Yeah.
dude,
So-
There's been some matches with Keith that I'm just like, it's hard for his kid to
Yeah,
be there.
there,
Like,
yeah.
the fans don't separate.
Yeah.
They don't separate.
No.
So
They don't separate at all.
that's just my opinion. But
Yeah.
And my wife is a huge wrestling fan.
Oh, yeah.
We watch it together. it's both good and a bad thing. Cause like if I have a bad match, she's like, you know, that wasn't great. I'm like, hey, she's not, she you know,
she knows
like,
what to look for.
Yeah, it's like
that's cool though. You know,
because I've seen girlfriends that are like, oh, that was great, and it's like that match sucked. But I mean, you got her fooled. But like Amanda knows good wrestling, so she was like, I've seen you have better matches. That's about the nicest I'll get from her.
That's awesome, man, because everybody loves the whole like, you know, the sidekick lady, you know what I'm saying? Everybody loves the whole, you know, they love that, you know.
Getting on the mic, speaking for you, just gives us another reason to be like, speak for yourself. Come on, man. Yep, just another aspect to the fucking character.
I think she wants to not just be my wife. You know, she does really great on interviews, and I like that Nick Natural promo where she's like, he's like, get out of here, Ben Trust wife. She looks legit annoyed. It's great.
Not just his wife.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny. All right, if you could face any wrestler, past or present, who would it be and why?
I have about 3 matches I want. I want to have a hardcore match with Lonnie. I'll just Babe Ruth that.
I see he's coming back.
That's big boy moves there.
Yeah,
chances are there.
Well, you did give it cash. I mean, Lenny does go a step further sometimes.
And like we're friends, and I think it'd be cool. So that's just calling my shot. I want Gary J wrestled Speedball. I want that level of a match. I want to test myself against someone like a Speedball or Hammerstone or someone that's on TV consistently. Yeah, I want that match. And then I want to wrestle Mike Outlaw. That was probably the person that did the most training of me. And we've had some matches before, but it's legit been like 5 years. And we're both very different wrestlers. And so those are some matches off the top of my head.
He'll be at Faircade.
Yeah, Mike Outlaw. Yeah, he'll be at Faircade. I think he was at the show last night. I think he's going to be a fixture at PWE going forward. Guys like, and that's another thing, the talent. Brandon Beretta, Mike Outlaw, Camaro, KLD's there. They're doing Epic to the max. It's like, it just keeps the talent at PWE. I'm going to keep having to diversify. Cooler jackets. I was like,
you come with an actual jet.
I got to come in on an actual jet. That was funny.
Save that for the Century Super Show.
So the two names I can think off the top of my head are Lenny Mephisto and Mike Outlaw. And I would like to do something like special with Lenny. Like I would like to do some sort of like tables, or I want to wrestle Lenny on broken glass or something. You know what I mean? Like just to say I did.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
that'd be dope as hell. That'd be man. Between Lenny and Cash, man, and even Harsh, they go crazy in the paint when it comes to color. You know.
Oh, another person I want to wrestle, Jake Painter. I had a match with him at Galley Lucha Libre in Chicago, and that was kind of like we had a really, really good match, and it got me noticed and got me booked at a lot of other places because people were like, oh, I saw you wrestle Jake Painter, and he just recently was on TNA and did a match against Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's little brother. And we've wrestled once or twice since then, but I really want to wrestle him on like a bigger show, one of Lenny's big shows, maybe OVW, something like that. Jake Painter would be another guy. We just have good chemistry. Every time I'm in the ring with him, stuff clicks, and then it's like, how can we outdo the last one? So
you ever had a partner in the ring that isn't catching on quite well, or that doesn't, it's hard to work with, or?
Probably, man, CJ Shine, I don't want to bury anyone. CJ Shine, we just miss, you know, like we've had like okay matches. We tried to tag together once, and he forgot to tag me in. It was brutal. And I love CJ. I've seen him have great matches. And I also hate wrestling him because he's got this big Jerry curl. And anytime I wrestle him, I get like all this hair in my face. And like, and it's not his fault. There's just like loose hair. So I'll be like trying to fire, I'd be like, yeah, so,
That's funny.
And it sucks because I'm like, oh yeah, we'll have a great match, and then it's just, it's not what I want it to be. So there's that.
Happens,
Yeah.
Describe Benjamin Trust in 3 words.
High school bully. I try to mimic. Benjamin Trust is a high school bully. I try to elicit a response from people. I try to elicit the response of like, everyone's been picked on, middle school, high school. I think that's why.
Me.
Yeah, I think that's why I keep my
Not me.
heel talk to like. I don't keep it PG just for the sake of keeping it PG. I try to keep it like what a middle schooler would say to you.
Yeah.
Because I want to snap you back to when that D-bag in middle school picked on you and you hated. I want to bring that feeling out of you. And then like I look like the 80s bully. Like I look like the bad guy in every 80s kids teen movie. Yeah.
For sure. Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah. So like I'm always trying to like elicit. Fuck, cut that too. Elicit that response. Like he's a high school bully. Ben Trust is the guy that picked on you. He picked on you. He picked on you. On you.
Fucking asshole at the bus stop.
Yeah. Kid at the bus stop. The older kid that had the hot girlfriend. And
smack the book out of the
yeah. And like that's who I try to be because everyone had one of them in their lives. And everyone hates, like Eddie Kingston on AEW. Eddie Kingston got over because everyone knows an Eddie Kingston, and wouldn't want to fight an Eddie Kingston. Like, I try to be someone that and like you had in your life that So that's why like things like dweeb works because it's like that's something that's something Jake
it's universal
something Jake Ryan, my high school bully, would have said to me, or my middle school bully would have said to me.
Yeah, you can always put your character out on us, man. We'll run with that.
I think that's why kids like me. I'll be like, you're up past your bedtime, or like, they'll be like, you're stupid. I'm like, I can drive a car.
Right.
Level where you're cool. You're cool with talking shit to the kid.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I always think like if a parent heard me saying something to their kid, I wouldn't want them to get offended.
Right.
That's why I say things
they're
like
almost cool with what you say.
And I want it to be something they're going through that.
Yeah.
They're going through that. So like if they're in middle school
that's pretty good.
and there's a sophomore picking on them, that's what you can say. I can drive a car.
Yeah.
I can drive a car.
Or that's what the parent wants to say to their kid. Like,
I've
been waiting to say that for a minute now.
I'm like, I'm taller than you. Like, cause that's stuff kids say to each other.
Right.
Like, you're not even that tall. I'm like way taller than you, man. Shut up. Like,
that's funny. All right, well, we've got the last question going on here. Before we end this last question, though, I do want to tell you I appreciate you coming all the way out from St. Peter's. All the way out here to take a time out to do this podcast for sure, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I like to drive, and I missed it because I've been driving with wrestling, so it was nice to go on a drive.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you taking the time out to come out here for sure.
Been wanting to get into
this studio looks great. There's like a demon.
Look right below it. You got big old balls with a demon.
Oh, nice. I don't know if you want to see that on camera. There's demon balls.
Would you like a tea?
This would be awesome on the side of like a van.
Yeah.
Like one of those 80s vans. It's
I call them the rape vans with the one window.
The lightning.
Yeah. So what's on your playlist when you're getting hyped to wrestle or hit the gym?
Oh, man. Power Wolf, Glory Hammer.
The right bounce.
Yeah, right.
I'm not there.
Listen to a lot of power metal. My wife is a huge metalhead.
Oh, cool.
And she listens to heavier metal than me. So I've kind of met her in the middle with power metal. So like Dragon Force, Power Wolf, Glory Hammer. Those are like my go-tos right now. My entrance song is Power Glove. It's Guile's theme covered by Power Glove. So I don't like anything with too many lyrics. I just want to I just need the background noise while I lift, And I don't want to be like, what song am I gonna? What song am I picking? Like when I go to the gym, I'm there to do a job.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I just want to hit play and like get to work and
that's
just,
what I do too.
You know,
Yeah. There's always one. I got one song right now in my playlist that when I'm listening to my radio while I'm tattooing and shit, that one song come on, I'll just be like, I got my gloves on, and just gotta be like, next. You know what I'm saying? That one song, I was like, God damn, why don't I take this motherfucker off here?
Yeah. And sometimes like I'll have like the Pink Pony Club was stuck in my head forever.
Is it
so
the
like
metal version one or just the actual Pink Pony Club?
Well, that's how it starts. Is the actual one gets stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And then I'll find like I'll type it in Spotify and there'll be like a metal version. I'm like I can work out to this.
Yeah. All right, so the next segment is On the Spot Inc. and we're gonna ask Ben here about his tattoos. So, what's one of your most painful tattoos you got?
Man, I got tattoos on my back, and that hurt not because of the tattoo. I think it was just the same as everything else, but like I was sitting like this, like hunched over. Oh my god!
With the prison machine.
Yeah, I was just like,
on my spine, there was nothing in front of me. They just had me kind of sitting like this.
Yeah,
and he got pissed because I kept doing that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lean into your fucking needle, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lean back for you. Yeah. So it's best to have someone like hunched over.
Yeah, it's like my shoulders, like here, like the next day were like killing me. I was like, I never want to get a tattoo on my back again. You know.
It sucks. So what's your
favorite tattoo?
His favorite tattoo.
Oh man, my favorite tattoo is probably my fin sword. Me and my wife have.
Who did it?
What sword is it?
Carrie Davini.
Okay. I thought that Carrie had ever worn.
Yeah, that's Carrie.
Okay, I didn't know that was last name. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's her last name, but
Where's
Carrie from
Carrie
Evermore.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's done all my tattoos.
Yeah, she's really good.
Fun fact, I think it's funny that like I said earlier in the podcast, I was never girl crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 17, almost 18, maybe I was 18, barely 18 when I got my first tattoo by Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, oh my gosh, like girls with tattoos. That's and she was older than me. And then I ended up married to an older girl with a bunch of tattoos. I was like, so Carrie, I had a huge crush on Carrie for like 4 years.
She's still tattooed?
Yeah. What?
She's still tattooed?
Yeah. She's actually gonna fill in some stuff because like. Getting hurt actually helps my tattoo game because like I've been wanting to get more tattoos, but it's like I wrestle almost every weekend. It's like I don't want to get tattooed. And then
rocking up.
I saw Kendall Beck got a tattoo, and then he was wrestling on it. And he was like healing. And I was like, oh man, that's gotta.
Yeah, I did this.
I never want to do that. So.
He's got a big ass thigh, a lot of area.
Yeah, he got big legs. I don't have that big legs. I do want to get. I have this tattoo I really want. And it's probably gonna make a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, go.
Well, Carrie's moving, so I'm gonna need a new tattooer. But I have this tattoo I really want, where it's a pinup girl on a bomb for obvious reasons. And I'm
classic fucking bomb.
And I'm like, I don't know where to put it because like my first thought is on my back, but like I just said, I don't want another tattoo on my back at all.
Something like that you want to see.
Yeah,
Your chest or your bicep there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there on the bicep. You think?
Yep. Dude, I just had a
maybe on this
recently.
bicep.
See, I don't want to compare it to
Yeah.
A white tattoo.
Just put it away.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Chest, bicep, but yeah, that's one I really want. But it's like I said, I'm always wrestling, so it's hard to get tattooed.
Hard to find that 2-week fucking span.
Yeah.
You got a little time now, then.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, you're getting now.
Yeah, So I'm getting. She's filling in some stuff for me at the end of this month, and then I'm gonna work on probably that bomb tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking maybe Millie. I don't know.
Your thigh would look fucking cool, especially you coming out with the fucking cool ass tattoo.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're doing a Marilyn Manson on Lenny next.
It'd be cool. That makes sense. It'd be cool to like come out and be gone for a while and come back with tattoos. Be like, he did some stuff while he was
especially while you're a heel too. You come back all tatted up and shit.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
So my favorite one of my coolest tattoos is I have Stan Lee's autograph. Stan Lee, the guy that made all the comic book characters.
Where'd you meet him at?
So I have a picture of me and him. I met him at a Comic-Con, and I wanted him. My idea was get him to sign it, and then have someone tattoo over it, over the Sharpie. But I think health code in Missouri, you can't tattoo over Sharpie.
Yeah.
Because of ink or something. I don't know, but they wouldn't do it. So Carrie gave me a tattoo stencil.
There you go.
And he signed the stencil, and she just popped and peeled it.
Put it right on there.
Tattooed it on.
That's how we did my son's name when he first started to learn how to write his name.
Oh, nice.
Sharpie it, just
Sharpie it on
tattooed it.
Yeah. Nice. I think red ink tattoos are cool.
My second son, he's autistic. He don't. When he was time to draw or write his name, it was a little bit late in the game, and I haven't got it fucking put on there yet. Why?
Yeah.
See, I do get it.
Yeah. I still got a fucking footprint behind Billy. I got Billy's footprint, Wyatt's name, and Billy's
I still
name.
need to tattoo you, man. I haven't even tattooed you yet.
You haven't tattooed me yet.
It's nothing to do with
That
Cody
is-
Rhodes. I really want a neck tattoo. And my wife's like, no.
I've wanted one right here.
Yeah, my wife's like, no. She's like, so if I ever make, she
That
says
almost
if I make
makes
Cody
you
Rhodes
have to be
money.
healed.
Yeah.
money.
She's like, if you make Cody Rhodes money, you can get a neck tattoo. So that's our deal with our wife.
go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah,
Well, then, what'd you
like
see the neck
said-
tattoo like? He made it.
Yeah, you got to be somewhere to get your neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Even though I got my faces. That face just means you can be a tattoo artist. You got a face tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neck is like it's right there.
Yeah.
Like it's a big.
So how long
fucking-
into your tattoo career before you got face tattoos?
Mine was a year.
No, mine was a little
My
while.
first year in the shop, where I up in Ottawa by Chicago, started out. We were tattooing that day, and I put the stencil on my face. It was the cross, and I kept looking in the mirror. Do I like it? Yep. Yeah, I still like it. So at the end of the day, I still wanted the tattoo, so we went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
Liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I just got mine. I wanted my kid's name
What one
on my
was it?
face. So I just wanted it right there.
Does anyone ever ask
above.
you, hey, what do you do for a living? Like,
Yeah,
tattoo
people-
artist.
people
You're like,
ask
oh,
me-
it makes sense.
People ask me all the time about
so
being in prison.
many
I'm like, I've never been in
618
prison.
Well, I wear
Yeah,
so
like-
many 618 shirts around the area. Like, oh, you work at 618?
Yeah.
What's your name? Lonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People think I'm Lonnie. They'll be like, hey, Lonnie,
Dude,
what's
I
up?
get
It's like,
free
hey,
fucking.
what's up?
Like, when I go to Scooters, I'll get my shit upgraded to extra larges. Like,
Oh yeah,
like,
dude,
just from working.
They
in
take
618
care of us out here, dude.
Is it because you're
literally-
bald that they think you've been to prison? Or
Well, because I have tattoos on my eyebrows, my dad's name and his birthday and his death date, and they could just see the numbers, and they thought that was my prison number. Yeah, I'm just like, nah, I've never been to prison. I've been to jail, but I've never been to prison. You know what I'm saying?
It's like face tattoos.
Yeah, it's funny shit, dude.
Yeah, like around this area, you get benefits from wearing a 618.
Oh yeah,
It's a big deal around here.
Yeah, it is, for
Matt's
sure.
built it up fucking
Yeah.
phenomenally.
dude. I mean, everywhere we go, dude, I mean, like I up at that
Dude,
head
I can
shop.
go a long ways away. If
Are you guys like me when it's like, oh, I don't have a clean shirt today, and you just go to your merch and like,
Yeah,
I've done that.
Yes, I
like
have.
if you see me in a Ben Truss shirt, it's probably because I didn't do laundry that day.
I wanna get you a
my
shirt
shit
before
ain't,
you
me
leave.
and my son ain't
Oh,
getting no
sweet.
shirts. It's 618.
Nice.
Like, so I got 4 or 5 of them at home. Like
I
every
got
time we
I
do a
got tons of
podcast,
hoodies, bro.
I grab a brand new
30
fucking
of them probably.
618 shirt. So I've got one every time I do a podcast.
Yeah.
I just want a clean one.
Yeah.
Then the new logo is gonna look fucking nice.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that too. It's gonna be dope. Dweeb. Yeah, man, that's all for today. I appreciate you coming out.
I'm still.
Thanks
first.
for having me.
Yes, sir. No
Yeah,
problem,
thanks
man.
for coming.
My goal is.